So another buddy of mine on Instagram. I think this one came from Sandy, if I'm not mistaken. But another one of my buddies. I got a couple buddies on Instagram. Instagram is lit. I'm gonna tell you. Back in the day, my Facebook was lit and my Instagram was dead. Now my Facebook is dead and my Instagram is lit. Probably because I spend more time on Instagram. But anyway, holla at me on Instagram. Underneath this video is a link to my Instagram page. Anyway, so on Instagram, one of my buddies gave me another list of Aquarius things to read and talk about. So we're going to look at these. I haven't read them, so we're going to look at these and see if they're true for the average Aquarius. And those of you out there can tell me if you're an Aquarius or if you love an Aquarius, if these sound about right for your Aquarius. All right, guys, let's get started. I'm Queen Osset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Pass it on to somebody else who might like it too. And also, please drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And if you have time, stick around to the end because I have two of my favorite comments from previous videos. And I'm going to read them, and one of them could actually be yours. Likewise, underneath this video, if you want to get a reading, email me. My email is underneath this video. Also, if you would like to hit me up on any social media, they're all underneath this video. If you would like to become one of my patrons on Patreon, that is underneath this video, the link to it. Let's see, the links to my Ask an Aquarius merchandise are underneath this video. My PayPal is underneath this video. And my Amazon wish list is underneath this video. So check out underneath this video if you want to know more about me. All right, let's get to tackling this list. Number one, it says here that Aquarius has a sexy brain. I'm guessing that by sexy brain, they're saying that we're, I'm like, what is that exactly? That we're intelligent, I'm guessing. And I don't know if that has something to do with, sexy thoughts as well, because we got both of those going on, but definitely intelligent. So I'm gonna go with that. Number two, Aquarius are completely unexplainable. I don't really think that most people understand Aquarius. I really don't. Because when I hear people talk about Aquarius, they're almost always wrong. Like if I go to other channels and I, want to listen to what they have to say about Aquarius, the only ones that are usually right are the ones where they pull cards. A lot of times, like my boy Rich Lop, when he pulls cards on Aquarius, it's always talking about me. I'm like, oh my God. It's always talking about me. But there are some other channels that do like just astrology, not pulling cards, and they talk about Aquarius, and I'm like, you don't understand Aquarius. Like, you need to go back to them textbooks, because when I read about Aquarius in the astrology books, it's spot on. But then when I hear them talk about like our motivations and our thoughts, and they get it all wrong. So I do think that I talked about Aquarius being misunderstood. And I think it's because we're so unexplainable. We have these contradictions going on. We're one thing, but another thing at the same time. We're very mysterious. We're very aloof. Some of us are detached. Some of us don't tell nobody nothing. So it's this whole privacy thing going on. So with all of that going on, I think it just makes us unexplainable. That's why I always tell people, if you really want to know me, don't ask these Fruit Loops from my past or from my present. Don't ask none of these people. I don't care how well. Don't ask my daughter. Don't ask none of these people. Watch my videos or ask me yourself, because that's when you're going to get the real deal. Anybody else, I can't promise you that they're going to interpret it right. And they have it in the past, so I don't have faith in it at all. Aquarius can offend you with their honesty. Some Aquarius don't believe in honesty, mostly the ones that are more low vibrational. Those Aquarius tell the truth when they feel like it or when it's convenient, basically. But for Aquarius who believe in honesty, it can be offensive, man, because sometimes, I know for me, one of my biggest problems is, and I always work on this, is how to tell somebody the truth without hurting their feelings. Some people are very sensitive, and I believe in telling the truth. So if I come to them to tell the truth and the truth is unfortunate, then what am I going to do? You know? So I do my best to say it as kindly as possible. I do my best, but nobody's perfect. And I'm Aquarius. I mess up with that sometimes. So whenever it's like tell the truth or sugarcoat, I'm always like, I'm telling the truth. And some of the times it can be offensive, especially a person who doesn't want to hear the truth, because some people are used to other people lying to them, or they don't really want the truth. I've done readings for people, for example, and I'm sitting there telling them XYZ, and they're arguing with me that it's not XYZ. And I'm like, all right, no problem. And some of the times I think that they do get offended by the honesty, because I don't play. Like my one of my favorite clients, she was like, yo, you thug priestess all day. I don't sit there and play games with them. I can't help them heal themselves if I'm playing with them. I have to tell them the truth. And some of the times, and usually not my clients, the people that usually get offended are the people that didn't ask didn't ask me in the first damn place. They are the ones that get offended. So Aquarius, our honesty can be offensive at times. That's why I always tell Aquarius to be kind as possible. Aquarius tends to hold feelings inside. Yes, 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 yes. I do not do this as much now. At this point in my life, I just let them go. If I'm upset or sad or whatever the case is, I just let it out. You know, weekend before last, I had the craziest crying fit. I was chilling and I started listening to old songs. Oh, it made me cry. And I just let myself cry. I let myself cry and reminisce and just be okay again, you know? And 10 years ago, I would not have done that. I would have made myself stop. I would have changed the song. I would have went to something else. I would have made myself repress the feeling. And I don't do that anymore. So a lot of us do hold our feelings inside, especially Aquarius men. A lot of them come to me and talk to me about wanting to change that. And it's hard. It's not easy to talk about your feelings when you're used to repressing them. It's really difficult. So you have to just keep trying and practicing and, you know, and then if you're trying to express your feelings and somebody shuts you down, or like if I'm trying to express my feelings and the other person isn't listening, or they're trying to tell me what my feelings are, I shut off immediately. My shut off game is crazy. I can shut off and still be in the conversation. I do that a lot. I have had so many tendencies to just shut off. I'm still talking, I'm still engaged, but I'm not even there. So we do have a tendency to do that, and it's not healthy. That's why I've taught myself to stop doing that. Aquarius has zero tolerance for stupidity. Oh, wow. This is a big one. A lot of Aquarius get in trouble with this one, too. This is a big one. We don't have a lot of tolerance for people doing stuff that does not make logical sense. And we be sitting there like, for real? You know, it's one thing if it's a child or somebody who's impaired in some kind of way, you know, they can't make good cognitive reasoning decisions or something like that. But it's another thing when it's a full, conscious, able-bodied adult and they do stuff that's just illogical. Like some people support different people, and I'm just looking at them like, how can you see, like, how can you even do that? So things that we don't have a good tolerance for that at all, honestly. And with me, I just, I throw up my hands in a minute like, I'm good. Not dealing with this. Not dealing with this illogical behavior. Aquarius are straight up savage at times. Well, you know, it depends on the Aquarius. It depends on the Aquarius, because some of us are straight up savage, especially when we're not being kind, or when we're not being compassionate, or when we're younger and we're in an argumentative phase, or when we're dealing with a foe or something like that. We can be savage. We can we can stab somebody and twist it in their heart. And it's not a good thing though, because usually it ends up fracturing relationships, causing hard feelings, bad blood, all kind of stuff happens because of that. So some Aquarius are straight up savage because the more detached you are, the easier it is to treat other people in a savage manner, which is really not what you want to do. Aquarius can kill you with sarcasm. Man, yes, we speak fluent sarcasm like I told y'all last week. Um, most of the time we're just being funny and, just joking and playing, but some people take it very seriously. So I'm very careful who I'm sarcastic with and who I'm not. Aquarius has a great taste in music. We talked about music a few times. We are music geeks and we do love music of different kinds depending on who the Aquarius is. Aquarius, their mind will always be 10 steps ahead of yours. Aquarius are in the future. I mean, we live in the future. We have to look back to see what everybody else doing. We be way down the road. I had a Taurus friend. Me and her used to fight all the time because she would be like, that's just not how things are. Her little snotty little attitude. That's just not how things are. And I would be like, give a fuck how they are. This is how they need to be, okay? So we got into a lot of fights about that. And the bottom line is that Aquarius isn't in the present. We're always very futuristic. We're thinking about the next thing. We're always ahead of our time. We come up with ideas today that people won't even catch on to until tomorrow. And this happens very frequently to a lot of Aquarius. A lot of things that we say or, get into, people won't even figure out for another 10 years. And we're not stuck in the past. Sometimes we can be, emotionally speaking, because we don't let the feelings out. But for the most part, we have a tendency to be in the future. And sometimes that can be problematic because we're moving too fast. We're getting ahead of even ourselves. Aquarius lives by their very own way. We do. We live by our own drum. We live by the beat of our own drum. And if that is a problem for you, you do not want to be with an Aquarius because it's really not going to change. I noticed that as I've gotten older, it's become more so. I've become more eccentric as I've gotten older. So that's not going to change. So if you don't like that, you might as well move on because it's probably going to get worse. Aquarius gives the best silent treatment. Aquarius does, because remember I told you detaching is our default mechanism. So some of the times we go silent, not even because we want to go silent, we just don't have nothing to say. We don't have nothing to say. It's too exhausting to say anything. We don't know what to say. We don't really want to talk about it no more. We're frustrated. So detaching, ghosting, that is our default setting. So Aquarius do give the serious silent treatment. And I always try to get Aquarius, including myself, to be more communicative. Even if you need some space to be silent, just say that. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. It just depends. Aquarius are professionals at reading people's true intentions. A lot of Aquarius are, remember I told you, psychic sensitive. So we can tell if somebody's lying. We can read their intentions. It's not even a body language thing. It's a vibration thing. And I noticed this with myself. I can just look at somebody and they can be talking to me and what they're saying to me can be on point. It could be a perfect sales pitch, but their energy is off. And I follow the energy. And that's how Aquarius do. A lot of us can read people's intentions, their motivations by their energy. And energy is something you can't change. A person like a narcissist or a con man or a con woman, they may try to fool you, okay? But their energy can't. So don't listen to what they're saying. Don't even watch their actions because they can fake those too. Pay attention to their energy. Now, actions are better than words, definitely, but energy trumps it all. I go with the energy. It's just how it feels. And a lot of times when something feel off, it is off. And I've heard this from cops. I've heard this from detectives. I've heard this from all types of people who have to follow their gut. And they're like, it's the energy. Aquarius are suckers for adventures. Oh, I am. I still am. I'm not as, get up and go as I used to be, but if there's an adventure that I'm really interested in, I'm gonna go. I am gonna go. We have different levels of adventure. Some Aquarius like, that daredevil type adventure, and some of us just like having experiences. I'm about experiences, different cultures, different foods, different places. I love experiences. I love experiencing something that I've never experienced before. So many of us are suckers for adventures of different kinds. Last one. If found, keep the Aquarius. They will brighten up your life. Look here. If you find a light, high vibrational, positive Aquarius, and y'all have a good chemistry and you get along as friends or as lovers or whatever the case is, this is a true statement. Keep that Aquarius around, because that Aquarius, number one, will be 9 times out of 10 very knowledgeable about things. So let's say, for instance, you're interested in cars and you become friends with an Aquarius who's an auto mechanic. That Aquarius probably knows cars inside and out, because when we're passionate about something, once again, we learn it inside and out. So if you become friends with an Aquarius, they're going to be knowledgeable about things that you probably want to know about, regardless of what those subjects are. That's number one. Number two, a positive Aquarius will keep you inspired, will keep you laughing. A lot of Aquarius are into comedy or being humorous or laughing at comedy. So they'll keep you laughing, they'll keep your spirits high, they'll keep you dancing, they'll keep you having adventures. So it is true. If you find a decent Aquarius, a good person as an Aquarius, yeah, keep them around, even if it's just a platonic friendship. And that's true, because most of my friendships are long. Like my best friend, one of them I met when I was 3, one of them I met when I was 7, one of them I met about a good 20 years ago. The people that come into my life that I really vibe with, they're around forever. I have friendships from high school, all the way back. So this is a true statement. If you come around a really cool Aquarius, I would suggest keeping them. All right, guys, now we're going to take a look at these positive comments. The first one came from Peyton's Girl 78. Peyton's Girl said, I'm an Aquarius dating an Aries. Okay. We are a lot alike. Yes. Both bratty and bossy. Yes. But we make it work. Plus, the sex is awesome too. Aquarius and Aries. The best sex I ever had. Do you hear me? The best sex I ever had was with an Aries. All right. And it was for 6 hours. I was like, yo, I fainted, literally. It went on for so long that I just passed out. I just went to sleep. I couldn't do nothing else. My body just collapsed. And yes, Aries. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Aries have great sex drives. We didn't get that whole bossy bratty part is where we messed up at, because she was really bossy, and I wasn't trying to boss her around, but I'm not taking you bossing me around. And that's where the problem came in. So I stopped seeing her. We dated for about 3 months and I hit the road. But it was the best sex I've ever had in my life. I don't think I'm ever going to have sex that good again. At least I have that memory, though. That I'm happy about. Ariana Thomas. Hey, Ariana. Ariana said, I always say I'm a loving asshole. That sounds like Aquarius. Definitely. Very loving, but kind of an asshole. An asshole when we want to be, depending on the situation, but usually pretty loving. All right, guys, it's time for us to get going. So come back soon because I got so much more to say. I mean, like a lot. A lot more to say. See you later.